Hello, everyone. This is Life Lessons with Dr. Cunningham, and I'm so glad that you all joined us again today. Today, I have a great privilege of having a conversation with someone who is a full-figured fashion model. And so, we're going to have an opportunity to discuss body positivity, beauty, confidence, and
Mhm.
also the use of media and where we fit in all of this, and we are valuable with all that's going on within the media world. And so today we're introducing Sheena, who is a healthcare social worker who supports the elderly community. She is a plus size model who does runway modeling and fit brand modeling.
Mm,
She is an
mhm.
entrepreneur. Social media coverage company is that she has. And what's important to her is knowing that having multiple interests as a career is okay. And you can turn a hobby into a source of income. And kindness is effortless. Hey, Sheena, how you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing so great. Thank you so much for inviting me. I am so happy to be here so that we can chat. And
Yes.
yeah, thank you so much. I'm so honored.
Yeah, I'm glad that you decided to join the channel today. I know you're so important and your schedule is so full. You're always on the plane somewhere traveling. So
I
you
know,
made
I know.
time to spend
Yes,
time with Dr. Cunningham. I'm very thankful. And I want to make sure that you know that your time
absolutely.
is valuable.
A lot of people honestly don't know that I love to chat. So listen, invite me on. Let's talk about stuff because a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people shy away with having the conversation. Sometimes you have to physically say things and break it down so that you can utilize, listening to yourself, explain a
Hmm.
situation to someone else, and actually hear what somebody else is like. Oh, I get it, or I don't get it, so that it forces both people in that conversation to really work on language and how to communicate a little bit better
Right.
so that
Hmm.
each other can understand things, and that's how you learn, and I love that. So
You know
yes.
what? You just sounded like a social worker during that moment. So see, that's how multifaceted us as single
Yeah,
21st
try.
century women are, okay? And black women,
Absolutely, yes.
black and beautiful
Yes.
and curvy, okay? So
Come
what
on.
I'm wondering is, if you don't mind sharing, like, when and why did you decide to become a full figured model?
Wow. It was two different things that took place. So I am a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, and I
Okay.
attended a gala back in 2014. I attended a beautiful gala for celebrating the Phi Beta Sigma's centennial year. Fraternity turned 100 that year. So I wore this navy blue long sleeve deep V cut gown. And I was just like
Mm.
gorgeous, I felt gorgeous that night. So one of my fraternity brothers was like, Sheena, you look so good, girl. I was like, that. He was like, no, you could really do modeling. And I'm like, what? Me? So I just brushed it off, but it did linger in my mind the whole entire night. Um,
Mm.
so I did go to, YouTube University. We all do, and just typed in like plus size modeling just so I can have a visual. And I saw like, runway shows. And I'm like, okay. But same that later on that same winter was right before winter break. Um I had asked my professor at the time, I was in grad school. I was like, oh, is there any, extra credit, I can do? And he was like, yeah, how about this? During the winter break, I want you to research something that you like, you've never done before. You probably heard it, conversation, seen it on TV. Try that, and I want you to, write me like a 3 to 4 page paper, I believe it was. You get some extra credit. And I was like, okay. So since modeling was still on my brain, I found a runway and posing class in New York City. I said, oh,
Mm.
perfect. I use this assignment for the paper. So I went to the class. The class was like $75. I had to bring my heels, a loose bed sheet, and an extra outfit. So for 4 hours, I was in that class learning how to move my body a certain way, posing, runway, da da da. and I fell in love with how my body responded to the instructions, and
Mhm.
just that confidence was 4 hours. And that's how I started modeling, by
Awesome.
by a compliment slash pushing me to get extra credit during the winter semester in grad school.
Okay, so then
Yeah.
I'll say it for you. Thank you to whomever that gentleman was, because you
Yes.
spoke to Sheena's future. Now I don't
Absolutely.
know. Did y'all ever end up going on a date or something? Because he sounded like he was a nice guy, unless he's
No.
married or something at this point. I
No,
don't know.
at the time he was. He's not now. But he's a
Oh.
very, very, very nice gentleman. Oh, a very, very nice gentleman. But yeah.
So then
Yeah.
let's speak a little bit more about what the experience is like being a plus size model in the industry. Like, what is it
Oh,
like for you from your perspective?
so, my perspective is that this is I've been a freelance model for since 2014, 2015. I would say, yeah, 2015. Freelance model since 2015, and I didn't get signed to a modeling agency until 20 2023, actually. No, 2022. So, from my perspective, being a plus size model is, always going out to learn, to support, and to practice. So, going out to learn, um, to me means like finding runway and posing classes, runway coaches, continuing to practice my runway walk, posing, and stuff like that, learning about shapewear, about heels, how to move my body, my thighs, and my hips in a particular way so that I'm able to showcase my curves, in a certain, not sloppy and just very, elegant, like down the runway. Poses, because I'm a plus size model, how to pose my body so you can see different curves in different areas, but also to support. Support is a big thing because it allows me to learn the big designers, the big plus size designers, up and coming designers, um, the plus size industry. There's plus size influencer writers, there's magazines, there's particular events just for plus size fashion. So it allows me to learn about the community, and at the same time, so people know who I am, get my face out there, my name out there, so that if they have a show and they need a model, they're like, "Oh yeah, that new girl from Connecticut. Yeah, let's hit her up, or let's see what she has when we invite her to an audition." So yes, um, it's it's a lot. I'm still doing that. I'm still learning, regardless. Now that I do have an agency that does get jobs for me, I'm still on that hustling type of mode. Even when I'm on the job, I'm respectful. I'm greeting people. I'm building a working relationship, because when people feel good at their workspace, they want other people around them that feel good. They're like, "Oh,
Hmm.
yeah, get Sheena back. I like her because when I'm fitting her, doing measurements or whatever, she makes me feel good and our conversations are really good." So yeah, it's all, I
Yeah.
feel like it's those three things for
Yeah,
sure.
and what I am know of you, because we connected over at Central. I was a master's student. I think you were undergrad student at that point. It was a
Yes.
gospel choir,
Yep.
and you've
Yep.
always been the same, like literally. So Sheena is who she is. I mean, so whether it's on the runway or social work, she always been smiling. Just
Yes.
laughing, and just a
Yeah.
pleasant person. So that's what I know of you. And what I'm wondering is if you don't mind sharing maybe a highlight of a particular runway or posing experience that you've had, like when
Yeah.
you've had to go on photo shoots, like because I know, again, I don't want to necessarily say the name unless you, but I was excited for you when I saw that recent brand that you were working with,
Yes.
and I was like, okay, they
Mhm.
got curvy models now. So but
Yes.
share one of your experiences and what it was like, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. So now I am a signed model with Bicoastal Model Management. I do work in the New York air they have a New York office, and they also have a LA office. So I do work from they do, both offices do find jobs for me to do and all that stuff. So currently right now, I do fit for 2 major brands. One is Victoria's Secrets and one is Adore Me. So,
Nice. Great
being a
brands.
fit model, yeah, I know, right? Being a fit model is, a bit different than, like, e-com work or runway stuff. Those are the things that you see. E-com work is when you go online and you're shopping for a piece, you see those models on the page on the website, and they have the same model posing in different, like, the side, the back, the front, so you can see the garment. I consider myself the like, very important key of an outfit. So all as a fit model, I go to their office every single week for a few hours and literally fit and try on clothes that um, that they're continuing to work on. So in about 8 or 10 months, it will be approved and ready for you shoppers and everyone listening and watching to
Mhm.
purchase in about 8 or 10 months. So so everything that you see on the website eventually for a size 42 double D, a 3X, a size 20, size 18 would be based off of my body. So instead of using a plus size mannequin, they have a, 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 a fit model to measure and get those key measurements for those garments so that so many amazing men and women can have access to those sizes and it will fit wonderfully on their body. Um, so and it's very interesting because I am I'm working with 3 or 4 people at a time in a very nice, cool room, lots of lights. But I'm honestly just there trying on stuff and they're measuring every piece of my arm, my arm fat or my chest and side, everything is being measured constantly over and over and over and over again. And at the Adore Me office, yeah, Victoria's Secret too. So, in certain rooms, they have a really nice, big window, but I'm standing on a platform, so they have a curtain, but there's a little piece of space of the top part of the window that I'm able to kind of like gaze out the window and see the city line of New York City.
Oh, that
And
must be
every
nice.
single time I'm there, I'm just my arms are up. I'm just looking like, oh, thank you, God. I'm so thankful for being here because I
Mhm.
know my my work that I'm doing right now will I'm making it possible for another woman my age or older or younger who wants to go to Victoria's Secrets or Adore Me and you're like, I would love to, try on this silk lounge set or this, undergarment and they have their size and they try it on and they're like, this fits me and I'm a
Mhm.
part of this legacy of Victoria's Secrets or Adore Me or Lane Bryant and stuff like that. So yeah, that is a huge every week I go there, I'm like, this is such a blessing. So cool. So yeah.
You know, I think it's awesome what you're sharing as far as your experience. And if I were to to say if I were to language it slightly differently, I would say that they are measuring all of your curves. Because
Yeah.
I'm wondering from your perspective, what's the mindset like now with regards to fashion and modeling? Because, like we were discussing before we started recording, like I remember growing up and hearing from my mom mention models like Twiggy, and like that was a standard, even though there was
Yeah.
Marilyn Monroe and she had curves, but she was
Yep.
still like, and she was considered
Mhm.
plus size then, but that was still maybe like a 10, 12, 14. I mean, you know, it
Yeah.
was like a moderate full figure. It wasn't like, a full figure woman, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm. Yeah.
and so what I'm wondering is like, what are your thoughts about how media, portrays as well as, honors or shows respect to full figure models at this stage?
Um I feel, there's when it comes to social media or just media in general, there's clearly a positive side and a negative side, but it's honestly on based on the position of how a topic is being talked about. It can be, showcased for a particular way. For example, yes, we have our plus size models, very successful models that have a particular hourglass shape because, clearly there that shape is beautiful, which is there's so many other body shapes that's beautiful too. But
That's right.
and I feel growing up, a lot of brands just kind of like focused on one particular size just because
Mhm.
it was easier. And in their eyes, that was just that's where everyone should be fitted into, should be fitting into that type of shape. So of course, you see all those types of shapes on TV, social media. But after you turn off the TV and it's time to go to bed or do stuff in the community, then you're seeing different shapes that you don't see on the commercials or billboards or in stores. But
Truth.
when you see those different other beautiful shapes,
Mm.
more curvier shapes, you also can fall in love in those type of shapes and how women and men style those type of shapes, because sometimes the ones that are not shown on social media and on TV are better than the ones that's actually shown on TV. So it
See,
depends on the
now
angle
you're
of
preaching. Now
what
you're preaching.
and honestly, it depends on the angle of how you look at it.
Mhm.
Um, because you inspired to be like, wow, I want to be on TV, but you also inspired to be what your neighborhood. Everyone's neighborhood has a fashionista. Every street.
Mhm.
I was born and raised in Hartford on the South End, and there was there was a couple of older women that would leave from work, coming out the house, stepping out with some great outfits, and even some great
See.
plus size women, and I'm like, this is beautiful. I don't know how they do it, but I want their confidence. So you get a little bit from the media, and then you get a little bit of from reality, and then what does
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
you make up your own little mixture and utilize that into your own style. So I know that's a very like broad answer, but it is honestly how you portray what you see and utilize what is
Mhm.
being shown. Yeah. Mhm.
Mhm. I'm hearing what you're saying. Now, if I'm able to ask you,
Yeah.
from your perspective, what is beauty?
Um, Beauty is a smile. Beauty is confidence showing through how you dress, how you walk, how you choose a hairstyle. So there's a couple of aunties back in the day that will come back home after being in the salon for hours with a good slay. Woo!
Mm.
With a good wig on.
Mm.
And you can feel and see that confidence in that. I'm like, yeah, that's beautiful to me. Also too, beauty is embracing color and different patterns. A lot of people are really good with mixing and matching things or putting stuff together. And I find and receive beauty out of that as well. Um, so yeah, beauty is me. Beauty is my own swag of things and my personality into it. So yeah, hmm beauty is life. Beauty
Okay.
is
Well,
life.
thank you. Thank you for sharing that. What I'm
Yeah.
also wondering if we can have a discussion about, the coin phrase that has become very popular and I, shared in the beginning, which is body positivity, and
Oh
especially
yes.
with Lizzo kind of as the lead or champion with regards to being a full figured artist. And I think she slays every
Ooh.
time that she is literally on the stage, or if she is, advertising her new brands,
Oh
as
yes.
far as
hmm
fitwear or, shapewear. And so I'm wondering your thoughts about body positivity and how you feel like she represents, Lizzo, as well as how you feel like you are representing in your own way through full figure modeling.
Absolutely. So when it comes to body positivity, everyone's definition is different. But to me, body positivity is showing different types of body shapes, and owning that beauty and confidence. So for me, I am a solid 20, and I show that body positivity, and making sure that I show up for my fit model jobs and do my best, because eventually it's going to inspire someone, like just how I was inspired by people growing up. Even though, like, let's talk about Lizzo. Lizzo just she's been out for a while, but her current popularity has been huge. So she's been a huge light, huge light for a lot of men and women currently. But before there was Lizzo, it was Jill Scott for me. Jill
Yes,
Scott,
Jill
Jill
Scott.
Scott, yeah, Jill Scott. She's not the type. Her style is not too flashy. She might show a little the girls here and there, but I've seen Jill Scott, I want to say at least 10, 12 times. I have no problem dropping money to see Jill Scott, because I know when I sit up the first 4 or 5 rows, that's what I like to say. I like to see her. I
Mhm.
know she's gonna give me, great music and lyrics and everything, but her style, her grace is just pouring
Mhm.
out to the crowd. But I've also seen Lizzo 5 times. I have no problem dropping more money, because she shows a different side of body positivity, like, movement, a different clothing, and she has her dancers on stage, and they are killing it for the 2 hours. Like,
Mhm.
they both represent so many different things, but um, Lizzo's body positivity side is showing you can wear anything and whatever and still feel amazing. You don't have
Mhm.
to um wait till next week. Oh my god, let me wait lose 5 more pounds or whatever. No, let's put it on now.
I hear
Let's
that.
wear that
For real.
now and
True,
still feel
true.
amazing. Let's talk about representing and celebrating your curves in the now, and not wait till tomorrow or next week.
True.
Um, so yeah, they to me, they both represent two different genres of how to express yourself in your body and your shape, but it's still consistent across the board. Loving your body, that confidence, um, putting stuff on that you love and you feel good in, because when you feel good, everything else is going to feel great. Your confidence is going to be high. You're going to be smiling, having a great time. And that's what
Mhm.
honestly it really is about. So, and then of course, on what I do, I, it is hard. There are times like, oh, I don't feel my best, but this is my body and this is what I have right now. So I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going
I hear that.
to show love to my body, because I
Mhm.
only have one body. It's not like I change it out, switch it out and everything, and take it off the rack. So I'm like, yeah, let me show. My body has been with me through, different stages up and down in my weight or what have you. But let me show my body the same love that I want to show the
Right.
world the same love. So I honestly think
Mhm.
that's what body positivity is really about, is, showing your body love, and um, being grateful for where your body is, regardless of what your goal is, or if you don't have any body goals or anything like that. But it's about the now,
Yeah, I hear
and
you.
loving it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing what you shared. What I'm wondering is if you don't mind sharing more detail as far as when a lady has that day where she's not necessarily feeling as beautiful as she might feel, like, waking up in the morning might say like, I don't know if I feel like I'm slaying like I usually do, even if it's the
Yeah.
same outfit or if you put together a
Mhm.
certain look, and every person has those days, you know what I mean, where it's
Absolutely.
just kind of like, it doesn't feel like the vibe is, or they're like they're ready to slay on that particular day. But how do
Mhm.
you switch or change your mindset? You started going into it, kind of alluding to it, but if you don't
Yeah.
mind sharing, like, what do you do on one of those days, especially if you have like a photo shoot and you like, look, I got to slay today on this camera,
Yeah.
but I might not necessarily be feeling like,
The best.
slaying on that particular day.
Oh yeah. So that happens all the time. There's times that um, like, oh, all right, today I have to, go in to an event. So, let me put myself together. And sometimes you don't feel like putting yourself together. And there's times I'm like, okay, either not, did I miss the
Sheena,
total of my
Sheena, Sheena.
Yep.
Excuse me. I actually. Okay, so we might have had just a moment where it glitched, so we're going to continue. So the question again was, what do you do when you wake up on a particular day and you have to do photo shoots,
Mhm.
but you're not necessarily feeling like, I feel like slaying today, like giving it
Yeah.
to him on the camera. Like, what do you do?
Mhm. So, that like every day is not a slay day, and of course, like when I feel like I'm not, you know, my going to be myself, or I don't feel like putting in that effort, I do a deeper check with myself. Like, okay, Sheena, like, why are you feeling like off? What is weird? Like, did you sleep enough last night? Did I take my multivitamins? Do you need like a good smoothie? Like, what is the deeper cause? Because at this point in my career, I must show up because it's my responsibility of the platform that I've created for myself. Now, if you would have asked me this question like back in 2017, I would have been said like, nah, if I don't feel good enough, I'm just gonna stay home and not do anything. But now I've learned to check in with myself, like, hey, Sheena, what's going on? Is there, I would probably use some coping skills like journaling, or I'll take the extra time to do like a fun little like face mask at my home before doing makeup, because that does help relax me. Or like, okay, how about this? Like, let me take the time to take a longer shower, or instead of a shower, a bath, or depending on where I'm going, if I have the budget for it, hey, is there a way that I can get a 30-minute like foot massage in to kind of help me just relax a little bit more, to channel in of my like inner slayer type of style, because
Okay.
I need to show up not only for myself but for other people. I don't know who I'm gonna meet today, but I'm gonna meet somebody. I'm gonna be around other people, and I want to make sure that my mood and my attitude is correct, because I owe it to myself. I owe it to all the stuff, all the years that I've put in hard work, and I owe it to whoever I may meet.
I think you're bringing
So
up a very good point. Just to interject for a moment, because
yeah.
what you're highlighting is that the reality is, every day we don't necessarily wake up feeling 100%. At the same time,
Mhm.
you incorporate self care, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And what I would recommend for any adult or any human being, but especially for women,
Yep.
because again, it's a matter of not just your career, but I would say being a single woman,
Mhm.
and essentially carrying your household and being responsible for everything means that there's a different level of showing up that we have to implement,
Yeah.
and but then also to say that you're showing up for you is
Mhm.
is
Absolutely.
powerful statement, because it's not a matter of it being selfish, but it's a matter of being at 100% so that when you do show up into those spaces, that other people can feel that you're a full, full person. And I'm saying that figuratively in a different way, but not full
Y-
figure, but I'm saying full.
yes.
You understand what
Yep.
I'm saying?
Yes,
Internally,
I do.
spiritually, confidence wise, like
Absolutely.
showing up with all that God has placed within inside of you and knowing that
Hmm.
and standing in that and
Yes.
being grounded in that. And I think
Yes,
that's so awesome.
absolutely.
Like there's a part of me I want to say like that thought makes me feel yummy on the inside, because it's like
Yeah.
literally like, knowing that it requires remaining grounded in order to
Hmm.
show up as your best self,
Yes, absolutely.
is,
Absolutely.
I think that it's awesome.
Yeah. And I'll add a personal story to that. So back in 2018, there was this huge annual fashion show called Full Figured Fashion Week. Happened every year in New York, and 2018 was their 10th anniversary. So, for those that are watching, if you know about Full Figure Fashion Week, their auditions were very intense. They would travel to different cities, and there would be hundreds of models auditioning, and you'd be waiting in line for hours. Okay, but this year I auditioned, and this was my first time actually being accepted. They only picked 40 models. So at
Okay,
the
that'll
time,
work.
yep, at the time, this was probably my like third or fourth year trying to audition, and for their 10th anniversary, I finally actually was picked to be one of the 40 models. So they have fashion shows all week. This is Fashion Week in New York for Full Figure Fashion Week, and I was feeling a bit down because the 40 models we would be picked, but we would be picked for different shows. And all week I was just hoping like, oh yeah, it'd be great. Oh, I want to do the Lane Bryant luncheon. Nope, I didn't get picked for that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They had an all white boat cruise. They had a fashion show on there. I want to get picked. Nope, I didn't get picked for that. So towards the end of the week, they had two big fashion shows, Friday night and Saturday night. So those were my only two times
Hmm.
that I would be able to be seen on that runway. And um I wasn't picked for Friday, but I was only picked for Saturday. So I was like, all right, the odds are again, I was already feeling down. Like I've been here all week.
Mm-hmm.
None of the designers picked me. I'm feeling a little different. I'm feeling very, down on the inside, but I have to show up. For not
Mm-hmm.
even for anyone else at this time, it was for myself because I worked so hard. This
Mm-hmm.
platform is huge and I can't come half half behind for it. So Saturday, so we get there, every getting prepped in the back, hair, makeup. The person who did my makeup, I wasn't really happy with it. So that even doubt, kind of put me down a little bit, confidence wise. So we had like a 2 hour break. So I said, all right,
Mm-hmm.
Sheena, I need to step out of the building and go and just somewhere. I gotta have to go somewhere and have a talk to myself. So
Mm-hmm.
I went around a corner. I got like two slices of cheese pizza and a soda. So I'm walking around. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
Sheena, tonight is your only opportunity to show the community, whoever's there, the world, that you were picked for a reason. You all this training, this money spent traveling up and down the East Coast, letting people know that you have this talent that you just kind of learned about 4 years prior, because this was 2018, that
Mm-hmm.
you deserve to be on the stage. So I was at that moment that I had to learn how to pick my own self up. Sometimes I can't
Mm-hmm.
call my mom or my sister or my cousins and stuff like that, like, hey, talk to me. Sometimes you have to be like, okay, I need
Mm-hmm.
to check myself. Let's get it together. You're here for a reason. You got to talk to your own self and lift your own self up
That's right. Mm-hmm.
and be ready. And then once I came back after the 2 hour break, Sheena was on. And after the show, so many people were like, "Oh my God, your runway was amazing. Your walk is amazing." At 2018, that's when things skyrocketed for me in my modeling career. So I knew then that, yeah, I have to learn how to pick myself up out of the rut and figure out what's going on, because it's no longer for me at this point. It's for
Mm,
anyone else that I'm going to be working with, who I'm going to see, who I might see, and then whoever might see me. So I want to make sure that
mm,
my intentions and that purpose is very clear and the content is clear, because I don't.
mm,
I want to make sure that it's connecting with people. So yeah. Hmm.
mm. So I think it's great what you're highlighting is because when someone has an opportunity that they've been working for, or specifically what you mentioned was
Yeah.
um, that even when you are in a space that you've been hoping for, praying for, and then it
Hmm.
manifests, that you can still deal with emotions or even but possibly a little bit of like imposter syndrome, but it can be worked through as long
Yes.
as, because all of us have experienced, I've experienced it as well, so I don't want you to feel like it's an experience that we
Oh,
all have, like
oh yes.
whether it has to do with where we are professionally, when all of a sudden a door
Hmm.
opens for us and then we're stepping into the door and then we're like,
Right.
hold on, like I belong here,
Hold
do I
on.
belong? And
Yeah.
then it's like, hold
Mhm.
on, like am I going to perform at the level that is required? And so then
Yes.
those questions do come up in our mind, but then to pause for a moment
Hmm.
and just like you said, and we're going to have some self-talk and self-affirmation, because at
Hmm.
the end of the day, the person that we have to walk with every day is ourselves.
Yes.
It's not anyone else. And
Absolutely.
so you utilized your personal power to make sure that you showed up and you slayed. I'm sure of it because I've seen you walk.
Yeah.
and
Listen,
and and that
it's
opened up even more doors. So girl, I'm happy for you, but that's a
hmm
that's a life lesson, because people need to know that just because you might deal with a little bit of nervousness or fear or doubt, it doesn't mean that you still can't show up and slay
yes.
every time you need to
Absolutely.
slay. And it's okay to
Absolutely.
say it's for you, because at the
Hmm.
end of the day, when other people see it, it will inspire them because you showed up as your authentic self, and that
Absolutely. Yes.
is all that
Exactly.
matters. Mm-hmm.
And it's just it just reminds me, like, when I wasn't back in 2018, when I didn't know about that platform, I didn't know about Full Figure Fashion Week. I didn't know about these amazing designers. It was a few years prior, it was 20 back in 2016, 2 years before actually walking on the stage. I won tickets to go see the show, and I sat front row with my best friend Corinne Catino. I was like, "Girl, come." And she was like, "No, girl, I'm not plus size. I'm skinny." "Girl, you better come with me." They giving me an extra ticket. This is for anybody. So I was able to see these plus size models walking on the stage like, "What? They're beautiful." Now it's my turn to do the same thing. Oh, I gotta show up. I have a
Exactly.
job to do. I can't
Mm-hmm.
come, excuse my language, I can't come half-ass. I
Mm-hmm.
can't do it. I cannot, because I was that girl 2 years, 3 years prior looking at these models like, "Wow, their bodies are amazing." And there's people that makes clothes that make them even look better than that? Like, what? It was just huge, a huge thing for me. Huge thing for me. And my best friend Corinne, big shout out to Corinne Catino. She recently had passed from cancer, my childhood best friend.
Sincere
And she
condolences, sincerely.
thank you. And
You're
she's
welcome.
always like, she's been a fashion in her little tiny self, but she's always like, "No, Sheena, you can do it. Yeah, let's do it. What audition you want me to go with you? Okay, great. Let's practice in the parking lot." Like, she was the main person to really kind of push me like, "No, Sheena, no, get out of your feelings. Let's go. Let's do this." So, so yeah, I have a responsibility now that it's my turn. I have this
Mm-hmm.
opportunity, and I know so many other people would love to do what I do. So I have to make sure that I show up, not only for myself, but for these you know older people that look at me like, "Oh my god, I would never thought I'd see a day with plus size girl." working with this type of brand. Like, yep,
Well, you know
BBS.
what? I mean, ultimately, I just want to thank you, Sheena, for showing up because, you know, of you showing up, it does inspire others. Just like I said, I knew you pre, full figure model. At the
Mhm.
same time, seeing you on social media
Yeah.
has even been inspiring. Is to focus more on, fashion and
Mhm.
recognizing that, we are in a world now that is embracing, you know, um,
Yeah.
different body types and making sure that
Yes.
we have clothes that also, make us feel, like a
Mhm.
diva or feel
Yes.
sexy or feel
Yes.
fierce or,
Yes.
and feel all of those ways that,
Mhm.
at one point society was saying only skinny girls could feel that way, or at one point
Absolutely.
you had to have the BBL, or
Yes.
or you
The
had to be an
accessibility has
hourglass,
grown.
or so it's like, there's a sense of
Yeah.
different body shapes and sizes and all of them being embraced. And I heard one person say one time, and I always liked her phrase, and she was like a woman studies, and she was like, all bodies are good bodies. Yeah, just move your
Oh
body. I
yeah.
remember there's one female I saw that was a yoga instructor, and she was plus size, and I was like, girl, you better work
Mhm.
it. And then
Yes.
she had the nerve to say, I need to release myself a little bit,
My
build up her
yes.
belly,
Yes.
and
Yes.
then
I
started
know
doing a
exactly what
stretch.
you're
I
talking about.
said, girl, you better
Yes.
work.
Yes. I do. Yep. She loves doing that. She's like, let me just move my belly a little bit.
Mhm,
Allow it to be in the space, embrace my belly so that
mhm.
I can, allow it to be a part of this movement, this activity, so that the rest of my body can also move and glide as well. That's amazing. And
Yes.
even back in college when we met, Ebony
Mhm.
Gospel Choir at Central Connecticut State University,
Yes.
CCSU, what's up? Like
CCSU.
even the different color ca- you know color collaborations and ideas that we created for our gospel concerts were great, and we had different men and women of different sizes, and my peers, I still don't think I'm a fashionista, but back then I was
You are
like,
though.
wow, like,
It's a part of the brand, so
thank
you
you.
are.
Thank you. Even back then, I was like, wow, you can wear it like that color. Okay. I would be so inspired by everyone, putting different colors together or wearing this and that. So my inspiration has been, for so many different pockets of life and pockets of experiences in my life to make
Mhm.
my uniqueness of who I am right now. So yeah,
Right. Right.
awesome.
And thank you
Awesome.
so much for sharing that sincerely, because again, it's so inspiring, and I'm also so, grateful that we are, breaking from these particular stereotypes of what, beauty once was. And
Yeah.
there's literal research even to show for now, because I recently was viewing like a video that where there was a specialist that was addressing long life, and literally there was a Harvard study that said that it doesn't even really matter according to the BMI as far as size. Well, I should say that they are focusing on longevity of life, and so a person
Okay.
who moves their body, regardless of the
Mhm.
size of their body, lives longer than someone who doesn't move at all. So then I
Yes.
was like, y'all are giving me permission to eat some fried chicken and to walk on the treadmill at the same time. Then the sister is
Mhm.
okay.
Oh, I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm on
Now
it.
I still like my
Absolutely.
smoothies and things like that, but at the same time, it's
Yes.
like I've been curvy my entire life. So I was like,
Mhm.
if people are expecting me to fit a particular size, and I've
Yeah.
fluctuated and been different sizes, but I've always moved, because I like sports and exercise, and will have moments where I'm just like, I think I feel like I need to fast and just juice or something, or I'll just have smoothies.
Mm.
But then if I want to have a piece of cheesecake, I'm gonna have a piece of cheesecake.
Yeah,
It's like we
absolutely.
want to enjoy the fullness of life. So
Yes.
at the end of the day, I'm so glad to see that society is catching up to what has already existed, essentially. I mean, because the
Absolutely.
reality
Yeah.
is, how many females are walking around that are a size zero, and even the size zeros can still benefit from having Spanx, because the
Well,
reality is that we always have
yeah.
something going on with our body
Mhm.
that is, whether we like it or not, is still a part of our womanhood. And so
Yes,
that's the reason why
absolutely.
I like the idea of body positivity, because we're going to accept all parts of our body. And also, to if I were to add to it, because we're clinicians as well, but me being a family
Mhm.
therapist, is that we should also have people in our lives or a partner in our life that also embraces it. And if they can't, then they don't need to have any of us.
Yes, and it's very true, and yeah, that's a whole nother conversation about dating and and all that stuff and what that looks like. Be having a partner to support you through different things. But yeah, it's a very important aspect of all of our lives. It's so important to know that at the end of the day, you have to um, constantly speak up for yourself, reassure
Mhm.
yourself. And once you are at a great point, and then that's how everything else flows out of you and connects to other people. And, that's how you learn your boundaries or your requirements
That's
and
right.
stuff like
Mhm.
that. So yeah, hmm
Yeah. Yeah.
comfort. But yeah, I love it.
Now
I
we
love
could
it.
definitely continue to have a conversation, but I recognize that that would require a number of hours, and we have full
Yes.
lives and full
Let's talk about
schedules.
it, girl.
But ultimately, I would it would be awesome if you would return to another interview day, or for us to have
Oh,
another
yes,
discussion, or even if we just meet up to
definitely.
have like coffee or lunch, brunch, because
Mhm.
you're
I'm
cool
all for it.
people's
Let's do all
Miss
of it. Let's
Sheena.
do all of it.
Okay, okay, okay.
Let's do
So
all
then,
of it.
I want to thank you again for being a part. How can people connect with you? Say if they would like to, have a model, or if they want to connect with your media coverage business, like how can they
Yes,
connect?
definitely. So, everyone is welcome to follow me on, let's see here, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can type in like Sheena Postell or Miss Postell, and in all those platforms, there's always a link to my personal website, www.sheenapostell.com, and you're able to see all of the great photography styles that I've done, who I've worked with, any current fashion shows that I will be a part of, um, or any brands that would like to work with me and book me. There's a direct link there to contact my agency by Coastal Model Management. But yeah, you're more than welcome to follow me on social media to check out. I'm very transparent on, showcasing like my content of being a fit model and different brands that I work with to do influencing information, talking about stuff that I shop and wear and what fits for my body and stuff like that. As for my small business, Belon's Vision, which is a social media coverage company, you can also follow and find my small business on social media, Belon's Vision, on Instagram and Facebook. But yeah, yeah, I truly, truly, I love just really showcasing different things that I've learned or that I'm currently into, but also showcasing other events that's out there that I'm unable to physically be at because I want to make sure that people know what's going on and they can learn different things and learn about new designers because um,
Mhm.
sometimes going into the stores are great, but it's also too is great to learn and support our designers that's in those different communities that have that different type of look that can really give you a great gown outfit for those special occasions. So yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for inviting me. I had a great time.
Thank
And
you,
we're gonna have
Sheena.
another good time when I come back.
Yes.
So we can link up and even talk about other stuff. So yeah, I'm excited.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much sincerely for being here today, Sheena, and being a part of this discussion and life lessons with Dr. Cunningham. And also, viewers, I want to thank you so much for being a part today. I'd like to leave you all with a quote. Beauty begins the moment you decide to be yourself. Coco Chanel. So until next time,
Yeah.
y'all have a great one.
Yes.